All right, it is 7:39 in the morning, and we're going to take a break from the music and speak with JoAnna Sproles, who is the unelected dictator for life of Brookhaven Little Theatre, achieved during a violent coup.
Sounds good.
4 years ago, right?
That sounds good to me.
No, seriously, JoAnna Sproles. Everybody knows JoAnna's involved with Brookhaven Little Theatre, but she only claims the mantle of volunteer.
Yes, volunteer. We're all volunteer.
We're all
really
volunteers.
Nobody gets paid up there, so beware. But come on, come all. We'll take you. We'll take you.
Well, that's the end of this interview. No, I'm just kidding.
Yes, exactly.
What brings you to the studio today,
I just,
JoAnna?
wanted to talk a little bit about. We've been doing drama camp every year for 12 years. This is our 12th summer. We're kind of ending up this week. We've been there for 2 weeks. It's half days in the morning. We take 1st through 7th graders and try to teach them the ropes. And at the end of it, with a script in their hand and a lot of, oh my goodness, can I learn this in time? Looks on their faces, we actually put on a play at the end of drama camp. And tonight, we open the curtain. The public can come and participate by being an audience member. It's just a $5 ticket, Adam. So it's actually the least expensive way to get into the theater all year round. So
Sweet.
$5 at the door, yeah.
You know, I had forgotten that summer drama camp was going on. And then I think it was Tuesday, I went to Papa's Pizza Pie and noticed lots of 12-year-olds and cell phones, and I'm like, BLT drama camp.
Yeah,
that's what's going on here.
We have some kids go through 7th grade, and then we also have counselors that start in 8th grade and go through high school, and they stay off their cell phones during camp. So I'm sure they were catching up on all their business.
Yeah, they were looking for Pokemans, I'm sure.
Yeah,
I'm sure
a little break.
There's a bunch of them in Pappas.
Yeah.
Now, how many campers did you say?
58.
Is that a lot or a little?
It's pretty big.
Pretty big.
Yeah, that's pretty big. We've had as little as, over the years, as 35 to 40. So 58 is kind of the top of the, I can't remember having more than 58 at any time during any of the years. So it's actually a pretty cool one for me to have my little swan song as director. So it'll continue on. It's a great tradition, and it gets a lot of interest going for those younger kids, gives them an opportunity on stage. We don't do a lot of children's plays during the year. They're mostly adults. The BLT production is in June for teenagers, but there was a void for younger kids to have something to do in the summer. So that's why I started the camp with a friend of mine who's moved away 12 years ago. So, I'm coming to the end of my era because my personal children have aged out of it as of last year. So I knew this year would be my last year to direct, but I'll be in a consulting role next year to ease the next person in, and I'll always be around to give a helping hand.
I noticed that. See, I don't see you as much as I did back in the old days.
Yes.
But I was somewhere with my wife the other day, and I was like, hey, is that one of JoAnna's kids? She's huge.
Yeah, they've grown. I've got one going to Ole Miss in the fall. She's leaving in a couple weeks, and then one entering 8th grade. So I've been in a counselor role at the camp, but she's no longer on stage and has a role in the play. And so last year, that was my last year to see her actually participate on stage. And so it's just kind of time for me to, I don't know, get part of my summer back, I guess.
Yeah,
since
for
I'm
real.
not teaching during the summer and I have off. So, but I'll always be around to help out. And this is what I lovingly refer to as a version of a Little Rascals play.
Yeah.
Because I don't really ever know what we're going to get. These kids, most of them are first time on stage. They've got their lines, they're polishing them up, but stage fright kicks in.
Oh, yeah.
We've got a packed audience, usually with family, friends, and community. So, I just don't know. We'll see what happens. The set's ready and everything else is polished, so it's just up to the kids to pull it off.
So 58 campers have been working for 2 weeks to produce Hansel and Gretel.
That is correct.
And that is the story, of course, where the American commando frees the hostages from the terrorists in Djibouti.
And then passes out candy.
And passes out candy.
At the end, yeah.
Laced with cocaine.
That is
USA.
right. Something like that, yeah. So we're cocaine free.
Okay.
But the rest of it is true. So we made some amendments.
Brookhaven Little Theatre.
We, it's pretty funny that you mentioned that because I had a kid.
It's always funny when I mention cocaine.
When you mention cocaine, yeah. I had a kid the other day say, this is drama camp. And then you realize this play is about a witch who eats children. I said, yeah, that's true. So, and when we started with the play and I purchased it from the company that we use, it only had 5 parts. It was Mom, Dad, Hansel, Gretel, and the Witch. And I took on the extra challenge of writing in parts based on how many campers showed up and registered.
So you wrote in 53 parts?
Yes. Everyone has a part. And if they wanted a line, they have a line that I wrote in. And if they didn't want a line, they would just look awfully cute standing there on stage participating before
Little
they
Johnny's
exit.
going to be a wheelbarrow.
Yeah, and I've had we've worked it in. There's standing bushes and trees, woodland creatures. I actually didn't have to go that far, but we have a lot of fairy tale characters that were written in. We have some dancing groups that come in and do their little dances. Those are our younger groups that maybe didn't want lines. Our first and second graders that were getting their feet wet into it. So. But, we've had campers that have come year after year. We've had campers that turn into counselors later on. Those counselors do BLTs in June and put on a teen production. And then hopefully when they go off to school and they come back to Brookhaven with their families one day, they get plugged right back into the theater. And that's kind of the whole point.
Okay. So inclusion important at the summer drama camp.
Nobody's
on the sidelines.
There was no you don't get a part.
Yeah.
That is correct, Adam.
You get 55 parts.
You get
parts.
The beauty of it is, and I told them, I said you could basically go up on stage, and when we had tryouts the first Monday a couple weeks back, I said you could go up on stage, fall down in a fetal position, and just cry, and hey, you're in.
Yeah,
you still get part.
We'll ride around that.
Yeah,
it'll be great.
That makes you the shrub in the woods because you are in a fetal position. So,
what do you hope these kids learn at 2 weeks of summer drama camp? Anything they can take forward with them back into school, starting up in a few days?
It's funny that you mention that because I do want parents to know too a few things, and one of them is that we're all volunteer. Another one is that the money from their tuition to come to camp and their ticket sales at the door go into Save the Haven Fund. No one gets paid again even after the fact, and that money goes toward renovations of the building. So that is really what you guys out there are supporting, and I want people to know that. The other thing I want them to know is, yes, they take these skills into school. If they leave this camp and are a little more comfortable getting up in front of a group or a crowd, maybe they've learned about body language and stance and how not to sit there and shift on their feet and play with change in their pocket, they're going to do that book report better in front of class and be a little more comfortable. So that's what I tell parents. Your kid doesn't have to be Hollywood bound to want to come be a part and be an actor. It will teach them some life lessons and life skills they can take with them whenever they go.
Okay, life lessons, life skills, public speaking. You mentioned Save the Haven. Where are we at now? What's going on?
We're approaching $100,000 in our fund for that, so that's exciting. Yeah, we're trying to get to a match amount for hopefully $1 million grant. Usually match amounts are around 20-25%. So we've got a little more ways to go after we hit that $100,000 to kind of get to a match situation where we have that much money in our account, and then the match, would look at that, see that we have that money available, and they would come up with that other 75-80%. That's kind of typically how grants are working.
Yeah,
I'm not sitting on the board right now, so I'm loosely stating some of these facts a little bit because I'm not privy to all the financial information.
We should use this opportunity to criticize their decision making.
Yeah, right. Well, yeah, but Tommy's on the board. My husband's on the board.
Oh,
so
then you're on the board.
Then I'm in.
Works.
I get all the information when he comes home from board meetings because, of course, I'm curious about what's going on. So we're plugging away and moving away. Anybody, again, who wants to get involved, of course, we take donations year round to help us toward that. You can make donations really just for Save the Haven Fund. And then we have a separate operations budget that keeps the play going, the building going, all of our bills type situations. So anyway, but we're pretty good stewards of money, and we're saving up hard. So we just want people to know that we're hard at work to make sure they have a place for the arts in our community.
What's the next thing on the list for Save the Haven? What do we want to do in the building?
We are going to go into the lobby area, the building right next door that we owned. Years ago, was the last thing it was Posey's. It was a soap shop. Say that in the morning. So right next door, we're going to bust through the wall and continue to kind of make that part of the lobby and expand our lobby, and then go right into the auditorium and make some improvements there. So we still have a lot of capital, big ticket items that we need to do. Our bathrooms all need renovating. We're aware of that, so hang in there with us there. We've made some little tiny changes like new faucets, and we're going to be getting new mirrors soon. Little tiny Band-Aid type things before we kind of make more stalls later on and expand and do some expansion, things like that. So.
Okay, so that's it. Brookhaven Little Theatre still quite active. Save the Haven doing well. Lots of money. Need some more.
Yes.
Feel free to donate. And of course, one of the ways you can donate and get a little something in return is to go see the show which starts tonight at what time?
6:30.
6:30
Doors
tonight?
open at 5:30 for ticket sales. It's first come, first serve on seats, and it's a $5 ticket.
$5.
And so no intermission. It's kind of a less than an hour. I'm hoping right at an hour show. So we're going to plug right on through and finish up, and then we'll do it again tomorrow night, and then that'll be this one for this year in the books.
Okay, tonight at 6:30, tomorrow night at 6:30 for $5. See the community's kids. 58 campers, 58 participants. That's a pretty big deal.
And, Adam, from other communities as well.
Really?
We really have some from out of town. I should have brought my list of cities with me and towns, but we have some that are traveling from out of town and other counties. And so it's really a collaborative effort, and it's good to see those kids come into Brookhaven.
That's right. Brookhaven Little Theatre doing stuff. You should go and be a part of it. JoAnna Sproles with
Thanks,
Brookhaven Little
Adam.
Theatre. Thank you for joining us. We're going to go back to the music now. It's Drake with One Dance. You're listening to Majic 104.